Hello guys, so in this lecture we'll see what is the meaning of access control, where it is required, and we'll see various access control methods. So let's say yes, any channel link or pipe, same thing is there. So let's say one link or channel is there. So we can say that links are of two types. First one is known as broadcast link. Broadcast link, and second one is that is point to point link. Point to point link. So what is the meaning of broadcast link? We can say that yes, let's say this is one channel or one link and various stations are connected to this particular or this common link, isn't it? That is the broadcast link. And point to point means that there is a sender, or we can say that one destination, isn't it? So source and destination, only two stations are connected with a single link or single wire, isn't it? So these type of links are known as point to point link. So in the broadcast we can say that various stations are connected to the common link, isn't it? These are the stations, isn't it? These are the stations, and this is the channel, or we can say that this one is the link. So for a common channel, various stations are present, then these type of links are known as broadcast link, isn't it? So many stations are connected. So in this point to point link, we can say that if the channel is full duplex, then we can say that sender as well as destination can transmit the data simultaneously in the both directions, isn't it? But what is the problem in case of broadcast link? We can say that let's say this station is station 1, this is station 2, station 3, station 4. Let's say yes, station 1 wants to transmit the data, isn't it? At the same time, let's say 4 also wants to transmit the data. So we can say that yes, there is a possibility of collision here, because various stations are there, don't know who wants to transmit when, isn't it? So we can say that yes, in broadcast channel there will be a possibility of collision. So yes, we can say that access should be controlled in such a manner that there is no collision, isn't it? So that's why some access control methods are required. That means how to access this particular broadcast link so that there is no collision, isn't it? Because many stations are there. If more than one or two, we can say that station wants to transmit at the same time, and there is a possibility that there happens one collision of data, isn't it? If data is collided, then there will be a problem. So access should be controlled in such a manner that there is no collision while accessing the channel, isn't it? So we can say that access should be controlled. Access should be controlled in such a way, in such a way that no collision happens, isn't it? So I hope this one is clear to everyone. So various methods are there, so let us discuss these methods one by one. So first one, that is TDM, time division multiplexing. Time division, that is the first access control method. Time division multiplexing. So in this method, we can say that this one is the simplest access control method. Second point you can write down here, time is divided into slots. Time is divided into slots. So yes, we can say that let's say this is the timeline diagram. isn't it? 0 to t. Let's say this particular time is divided into slots, isn't it? These are the time slots, isn't it? And let's say one broadcast channel is there. Let's say four stations are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't it? Four stations are there. Now, these time slots will be allocated to these stations one by one in round robin manner. What does it mean? We can say that yes, the first time slot, let's say this is allocated to the station 1, then second time slot is allocated to the station 2, then this one is to the station 3, next one is the station 4. Again in the round robin manner means again, yes, this one is allocated to station 1, this is station 2, and then station 3, then station 4, and so on. This will continues, isn't it? So what does it mean? So what is the meaning of allocation? Let's say this particular time slot is allocated to the station 1. That means at that particular time slot, only station 1 is allowed to transmit the data. No other station is allowed, isn't it? So in this manner, yes, we can say that we can control the collisions, isn't it? In this manner, there won't be any collision. After that, we can say that in the next slot, only station 2 is allowed to transmit the data. In the next slot, station 3 is allowed to transmit the data, and so on, isn't it? That means these time slots are allocated to these stations in the round robin manner and one at a time, isn't it? So in this manner, yes, collisions can be controlled, isn't it? Now, next question is, yes, what will be the this time slot? Isn't it? How much time is there in any particular time slot? So we can say that, let's say one transmits the data to the station 2. So we can say that this is the time required. But in the worst case, we can say that two end stations can transmit the data. Let's say one transmit the data to the station 4, isn't it? Then the maximum we can say that this time is required. This much time is required for the entire transmission, isn't it? So assuming that worst condition, yes, each time slot will be equal to the time between the end stations, isn't it? Because sometimes you will say that yes, so we can say that the length of this time slot will be what? We can say that this let's say this channel length is, or the propagation time required for entire channel length, one end to and another end, that is propagation time, that is, let's say, pt, isn't it? So every time slot will be of tt plus pt, isn't it? So we can say that that is the maximum time required. So this will be, we can say that the time length for each time slot, isn't it? Because in the worst case, end stations can transmit the data to each other. So yes, each time slot will be equal to transmission time plus pt. And what is the pt? pt covers entire length of this channel from one end to last end, isn't it? So that is the time slot. If this time slot is fixed, then guaranteed any station can transmit the data to any other station in this time limits, isn't it? That is the maximum time between the end stations, isn't it? If we can say that if in between stations wants to transmit the data, then they will take the time less than this tt plus pt, but transmission will be completed. No, there won't be any problem, isn't it? I hope this point is clear to everyone. Okay, so every time slot is of the length, that is tt plus pt, transmission time plus propagation delay, isn't it? tt plus pt, isn't it? Okay, so in such a manner these time slots will be, we can say that, fixed, isn't it? Okay, now you only tell me what will be the efficiency in this case. So here time slot is equal to tt plus pt. The next question is, what is the efficiency? Efficiency, you know, total cycle time, that will be in the denominator, and in the numerator it will be useful time. So what is the cycle time? Yeah, cycle time means time slot, isn't it? We can say that after tt plus pt, same cycle is going to be repeat. So cycle time is TT, transmission time plus propagation time, and useful time is TT. We are utilizing only TT. So efficiency ultimately we can write down that is 1 upon 1 plus A, isn't it? Where A is what? A is PT upon TT, isn't it? So that is the efficiency in case of time division multiplexing. I hope this one is clear to everyone, isn't it? Okay, next one. Yes, let us take one question based on this. As it is given to you, transmission time that is 1 millisecond, propagation delay PT, propagation time, let's say that is also 1 millisecond. And question is what will be the efficiency? So efficiency will be 1 upon 1 plus A, where A is what? PT upon TT. So that is 1 only. So that is 1 upon 1 plus 1, that is 0.5, or we can say that that will be 50%, isn't it? Now let's say it is also given that the bandwidth is 4 Mbps, and what will be the throughput? That is the next question. So throughput will be the efficiency into bandwidth. So efficiency is 1 by 2, bandwidth is 4 Mbps. So throughput will be 2 Mbps, isn't it? So I hope this one is clear to everyone. Throughput is also known as effective bandwidth or effective data rate, isn't it? Next, in the extension of this question only, let's say it is given that if n stations are connected, n stations are connected in TDM, and if each station requires a bandwidth of 2 kbps, then how many maximum number of stations can be connected to this channel, isn't it? That is the question. In this question, common data, this is the next question, isn't it? In the same question. So let us consider n stations are given to you, n stations, isn't it? That is given. So each requires 2 kbps bandwidth. So n into 2 kbps, isn't it, for entire system that contains n stations. So for one station it is 2 kbps. So for n it will be n into 2 kbps, and that will be equals to the throughput. That will be the effective bandwidth, isn't it, or effective data rate, isn't it? So that will be n into 2 kbps, and throughput we already calculated, that was the 2 mbps. So that is n equals to 2 mbps upon 2 kbps. So 2 will be cancelled out with 2. M means we can say that 10 raised to power 6 bits per second. This is 10 raised to power 3 bits per second. So these units will be cancelled out. So ultimately this will be 10 raised to power 3. So we can say that 1000 stations are possible, isn't it? Okay. So these type of questions can be asked, isn't it? So be careful, isn't it? Okay, next one. What are the disadvantages of this particular access control method, that is TDM disadvantage? So first one, let's say time is divided into slots, isn't it? Now let's say first slot is assigned to the station 1, second one is to the station 2, then station 3, then station 4, and so on. Now let's say yes, we can say that this particular time slot is allocated to the station 1. Now, assume that at that particular time, station 1 doesn't wants to transmit the data, isn't it? This slot is allocated to the station 1, but station 1 don't wants to, yes, transmit the data at that particular time. And we can say that this entire slot get wasted, isn't it? So we can say that this scheme is known as a reservation scheme, isn't it? Reservation, why in TDM there is a reservation? Because yes, one time slot will be reserved for the station. Here this particular time slot is reserved for the station 1, but at that particular time station 1 doesn't want to transmit any data, so entire this slot will be wasted, isn't it? Okay, so let's say this is the disadvantage. So to overcome this advantage, next to access control method, that is polling. Second one is polling. So what is polling, isn't it? So ultimately we can say that here, let's say one broadcast channel is there. Let's say these are the stations. Let's say station 1, station 2, station 3, station 4, isn't it? So we can say that here one polling algorithm will be applied. That means the station who wants to transmit the data will participate in the polling. They will participate in the polling means one polling algorithm will be applied, and that algorithm will pick one station out of those stations who participated in the polling, isn't it? I hope this one is clear to everyone. So we can say that any instant more than one station wants to transmit the data, that means they will participate in the polling, and one polling algorithm will be applied that will pick the one station out of these stations who participated in the polling, isn't it? So what is the polling algorithm? How polling algorithm pick any station? That is out of scope of this course. So no need to worry about that. One algorithm is there, isn't it? Nothing else. So that is out of scope, or we can say that out of the gate, isn't it? There won't be any question regarding polling algorithm. But you can still remember this thing that one algorithm will be applied. That is known as polling algorithm, isn't it? So yes, we can say that only those stations, only those stations who wants to transmit the data will participate in the polling, isn't it? And one station will be picked out of these using polling algorithm, using polling algorithm, isn't it? Okay, so here we can see, let's say in the next slide, let's say this is the timeline, and let's say that is the first slot, second slot, third slot, fourth slot, fifth slot, and so on, isn't it? Now you only tell me, let's say yes, any station after polling algorithm that is picked, that will be allocated to this time slot, isn't it? Or we can say that this time slot will be allocated to that particular station. Now here there will be we can say that one polling time, yes, that is, let's say t poll, isn't it? Here time is not divided into slots, be careful. So remember, here this is the timeline diagram, so there is no allocation of the time slots. Initially there will be a time that is known as t poll. T poll means polling time. That algorithm will take some time in the polling procedure, that is the polling. After polling algorithm is applied, one station will be picked that wants to transmit the data, isn't it? Okay, now if that station will transmit the data, then time required will be tt plus pt, isn't it? Again polling will start. After polling, anyone will be picked and that will transmit the data, so total time taken will be tt plus pt. And so again t polling means polling will be started again, then the station will be picked and that will take the tt plus pt time, and so on, isn't it? So here we can say that yes, here so what will be the cycle time? Yes, that is the time that is repeating over and again, that is the cycle time, isn't it? So that is the cycle time, isn't it? One extra, we can say that time slot is there, that is t poll. That is the time required for the polling, and that is the disadvantage also, isn't it? One polling time is extra, polling time is required, isn't it? So yes, we can say that here efficiency will be what? That is useful time divided by the cycle time. So efficiency will be useful time is tt, total cycle time will be t poll plus tt plus pt, isn't it? So in the LAN environment, you can see propagation delay is very less as compared to the transmission time. So sometimes this pt will not be given, that can be ignored. So accordingly you can do the question, isn't it? If pt is given, then add pt also. If pt is not given, then we can say that pt can be ignored. In case of LAN, we can say that LAN is local area network. So in local area network, transmission time is more as compared to propagation time, because length is very small in the case of LANs, isn't it? In case of WANs, we wide area networks, PT is dominating over TT. There, TT can be ignored, isn't it? So that is the efficiency. So questions we did in the TDM, same type of questions can be asked from here also, isn't it? So that is the procedure, that is the polling, isn't it? So that is the, we can say that enough for gate point of view, isn't it? Nothing more will be asked in the gate, isn't it, in depth, isn't it? Because a small overview is required regarding polling and TDM, isn't it? There won't be any question other than that. Okay. So next question, next task is here. Remember here how a disadvantage of we can say that a TDM is overcome here. So here, yes, we can say that here polling algorithm, the station will participate in the polling who wants to transmit the data, isn't it? Or who have the data to transmit, isn't it? Out of those particular stations, yes, one station will be picked, isn't it? So that algorithm will be applied, and that algorithm will pick one station. So you know all the stations will participate in the polling who wants to transmit the data. That means any station that is picked, that is the station who wants to transmit the data. So here there won't be any we can say that wastage of time slot, but some additional time is required, that is t poll, polling time, isn't it? That is the disadvantage here, nothing else. I hope this one is clear to everyone. Okay guys, so thank you so much.